Mental illness runs in my family, on my mother's side, quite rampant. And I had a grandfather who died by suicide and a mother who has suffered depression and also with drug addiction. I had always wanted to go back to South Africa because that's where my mother was. And so I left school and went back to South Africa. And when my mother picked me up from the airport, we smoked a joint together. And that was the literal switch where mental health and mental illness started to set in. And when I had returned from my trip, I started to believe that my grandfather who had died by suicide was reincarnated into my cat. And that's when the journey had started. And no one was aware of it, but people kept saying to me, my closest friends, the kids I grew up with, something's changed, you're changed. But they couldn't pinpoint it, they couldn't verbalize it because it was a personality change, which is what mental illness is. It affects your personality. As the years went by, I started to get sicker and sicker. And then again, I fought to go and see my mother in South Africa. And by the time I was coming back after a 2-year visit with her, I was completely and utterly psychotic. Everybody knew something was wrong, but they didn't know what. And I was ostracized. Everyone stopped talking to me. People that I was with every day, and our families, our parents knew each other. Everyone just dropped me because they had no idea what they were looking at. Finally, I reached a psychiatrist and she said to me, you need to admit yourself. And that's what I did. I admit myself into McMaster about 10-15 years ago. And there began the next chapter of my life. I was hospitalized for 3 months. And what ended up happening, it was a lifesaver, actually. I moved to a house that was run by the Canadian Mental Health Association. And for the first time in a very long time, I was interacting with people who are in the same space as me. And that's what changed everything.